before I do anything, I'm just going to hold this out and I'm going to cut this off. You know what's next, right? Get your sheetrock knife out. Okay. Before I do that, I'm just going to kind of reposition the wire up top to make sure that none of it wants to pull down on me because we had such a small little run there. You want a sharp knife and just score it.
Yeah, be real careful.
Yeah, be real careful. I'm trying. Put your hand above it, like that. Pull that. Pull on the plastic. It kind of stretches just a little bit, and you can just saw that off. And you know they have a stripping tool that you can buy at the store. It kind of fits on there, and it pulls it off. I have never seen anyone use that. Even professional electricians never seen it done. But they have them. Okay. So you know what we're gonna do at this point, don't you?
Yeah.
We want to hook up the ground wires first. And let's see here. We're just gonna resituate these wires. I want the ground wires. I don't even really care about the black and white wires yet. My main goal is to make sure that I can push these ground wires all the way back to the box. And that's how I want it situated, okay? For right now. You're doing it. It's pretty easy. Have I shown you anything yet that you don't think you can do? I hope your answer is no. This time, we are going to use a splice cap. Okay, there it is. Little copper splice cap. You get those at the store. And I'm going to wrap both of those wires together. Man, I wish I was out in the middle of a wall. So, I mean, every time I turn around, I'm stretching, funky, and all that. But what I want to do, I'm going to take these wires, I'm just going to wrap them around themselves like that. And I could do it twice if I wanted. First, I'm going to grab my pliers. I want to give it a couple quick spins. Okay? You just don't want to overdo the spins. You spin it, and in fact, I'm going to do one more just to make it a little tighter. Okay? But you don't want to do too many of them. Because let me tell you, you spin it and spin it and spin it, you think it's tighter and tighter and tighter, and pretty soon it snaps off. I've done it before and I've seen others do it. Okay, so you're going to take the little sleeve, slide it up in there. And they have a crimper tool, and usually it's a little nib on an electrical strippers like these, okay? But this one apparently doesn't have it. Usually it's right in here, and it's just a little nib, and you put it over your sleeve and crimp down on it. But I'll get my trusty pliers out and I'll smash it on and kind of grab the edge and pinch it some more. Okay, that works like that. That's never going to come apart, and even if it ever did break, you've got this wrapped around. We're trying to keep everything grounded properly. Okay, so now I'm going to cut that off, one of them. Allow about a ½ an inch or so. I can take my pliers here, bend it up over itself, and smash that down. Okay, like that. Now I can push that back into the box by grabbing it with my pliers and kind of repositioning it out of the way. Okay, however you can. And I want the ground wire to come out at the bottom left-hand side of the box, which it is. That's your first step to hooking up an electrical duplex outlet. Now, this one's very simple because there's only 2 sets of wires in here. I'm just going to reposition the white wires. I want one at the top left, one at the bottom left. Okay, making sure they're out of the way of the black wires. Now I can kind of reposition the black wires, one at the bottom right, one at the top right. Okay, just like that. Pretty much like that. Okay, let's get that like that. All right, that's your next step. Now I'm going to look at these wires, and I want them all about the same length. And my ground wire was just a little bit short, wasn't it? Just a hair. And so I want all the other wires about the same length as the ground. Okay, so I can hold them up there. Wasn't off that far. It just makes it easier to me if all the wires are about the same length at this point, because everything's got to go in the box the same, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's close enough. Usually you want about 6 inches, 6-7 inches. You don't want it too long because then you got more of the wire to zigzag into the box. But this box is pretty easy because there's only 2 sets of wires in there. All right. For those of you who have already seen how to do this, just take this as a learning tool and watch and learn another time. You get a little better as you go. Okay, I'm going to strip off about 1 inch on all these wires now. And I don't have to measure 1 inch. I can kind of eyeball it's about that much. If you need to, don't go too far. You can go less, and you can hold your tape measure up there and see how much further. Once you get it, then you can hold up all the other ones and trim it as you go, starting off with it short if you need to, you know, and then holding it up there, eyeballing it, and stripping off some more. This one looks just a hair short, and so I'll get just a little bit more off. You got to have enough stripped because when we install it on the electrical outlet, we're going to attach it to the screw. Okay? There's side screws on this plug. On the sides. We're going to attach them there. There's some holes at the back. I don't like using those because then when you push it back in, sometimes those get loose. Okay? Are we ready to hook this up yet? Hope your answer is no. First thing we know is the white side's going on the long slot side. If you ever forget, here's your silver screws. Silver is for white, gold is for black, and the gold notch line is shorter than this one. Have you ever noticed that on a plug, on an outlet? What I like to do is undo these screws just a little bit. And see, I mean, they're set pretty much where they need to go. And I just double check it because it's easier to get my little loop over there. I'm going to make a loop on the wire. It's going to go around. Okay. I just give it a little twizzle until I feel like it's really super tight. If you go too much, you can undo these screws. Then you got to put it back in there and all that. Okay. I'll even look at the ground. That's where the ground wire is going to go, the green. Okay. We ready for this plug now? I hope your answer is still no. Yo, Joe, how come we're not ready for this? Well, I like to take these screws out of here. And they're held with little cardboard backing plate. That way I can, when I spaghetti it into the wall, I can get it nice and tight, and I can grab this and push it right in there nice and tight and make sure my wires are going back there. I can't do that when these screws are in the way. And I don't like to just get it started and try to ram it in, because the screws, you know, your head is only so big, and you're going into a plastic box generally, and your threads in the plastic box could start stripping if your wires are pushing against the back of another edge wire or something like that. You're not going to know that, are you? And so it just takes a few seconds to do this. All right, Joe, one more time. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are we ready for this outlet now? I hope your answer is still no. What? How come? How come we're not ready? Well, the plastic cut-in boxes, there's a notch here, and that's where your outlet's going to go. See these little ears on all electrical outlets? You can break off those ears, and there's a little score line on them even. You see a little score right there and right there. You can bend those back and forth, and usually what I do is I just give it a quick little pinch right there. If you do it hard enough, you can take those off, but now I can grab it like right there and just wiggle it back and forth. Simple. If you don't score it first, sometimes it wants to bend the rest of this little bit. Okay, all right there. Put that in almost to the bend. That's simple. Now can you see how that right there is going to fit right in that groove? See? That makes it up tighter, and when you put your cover plate on, it's going to be nice and flush. Once I do that to the rest of this, am I ready to install this electrical outlet? Then, now see that one I did, I hardly pushed on it. Sometimes they don't come off that easy. Am I ready for this outlet now to be installed, Joe? Of course you are.
Yeah, we're out of time here.
Finally. Hey, we're running out of time? Mr. Inspector's telling me I'm running out of time. I'm slowing down. It's 3:30. Yeah, I'm running out of time. We got to leave here pretty quick, so I got to get this outlet installed. Haha. You know what? The answer would have been no, you're not ready to install this yet, because I still got to put my bends on here. Put this in 1/8 of an inch. Here's little holes on the stripper. Put it in about 1/8 of an inch, bend it up, and pull it out. And I want you to do that on all of them. That's why I had you strip it 1 inch. Okay? We just do that to all the wires like that. It only takes you a second. You see that? Look, that's how it's going to look. Now, are we ready to install it? Yes.